Let's explore a hypothetical together. There are over 4 times as many livestock as people. Farmed cattle alone weigh nearly 10 times as much as all wild mammals combined. So imagine if a visit to meatless dining suddenly appeared, and with one wave of a wand, wiped away all the meat from a shelf along with any desire to eat it. Farm animals destined for food vanish, whisked away to another planet. What happened in the following days, years, and even millennia? Overnight, food-related greenhouse gas emissions dropped by about 60%. We no longer get protein and key nutrients from the approximately 70 million chickens, 1.5 billion pigs, 300 million cattle, and 200 million tons of fish and shellfish processed for consumption each year. To help fish this nutrition gap, our demand for fruits, vegetables, and legumes go up. A diet that most dietitians agreed contains all the nutrients we need for a healthy life. But initially, there aren't enough of these foods to go around. The rising demand causes produce costs to soar. In regions like Mongolia, where the harsh environment makes it difficult to grow vegetables, a sudden lack of meat leaves people with little to eat. Cultures built around meat lose their foundations. Members of the Samoan tribes in the Pacific Northwest of the United States, for example, lose not only sustenance and livelihood, but integral components of their religion. Tens of millions of anglers lose work that was already threatened by dwindling fish populations. As the meat industry collapses, many households in developing countries are left scrambling for income that once came from livestock farming. Some meat producers shift to agricultural crops, which leaves workers and neighboring communities less susceptible to respiratory diseases associated with livestock production. As crop agriculture expands, prices come down. Ultimately, vegetarianism becomes less expensive than meat eating in most countries. Luckily, we don't need to clear new farmland to grow all this food. Without animals bred for meat, land that has been used to grow feed is now available. All this considered, our new diet requires less land and water. Millions of deaths are avoided every year, thanks in part to lower rate of heart disease, cancer, and other conditions associated with red meat consumption. We no longer contract new pathogens from wild animals hunted for food, and novel influenza viruses from the pigs, and drug-resistant superbugs that develop in beef cattle that are being preemptively fed antibiotics. As the years pass, global biodiversity rises as habitat loss, pesticide use, other pressures from agriculture subside, Amazonian birds have more forests to fly over. Fewer cheetahs are shot for stalking too close to livestock. Bee, wasp, and butterfly communities thrive as natural areas expand. In turn, insect-pollinated crops produce higher yields. Many ocean species rebound from overfishing. Throughout history, humans in traditional vegetarian regions have evolved genetic mutations that help them more efficiently process fats from plants. So over thousands of years, our bodies may evolve to make the most of our veggies, or we may lose some adaptations, like the ability to extract iron from meat. Of course, our visit will not turn our world meatless. Though many individuals are choosing to go vegetarian, globally, meat eating is on the rise. This trend spells trouble for the climate. Even if we suddenly stop burning fossil fuels, business as usual, food system paired with growing population push global temperature over 1.5 degrees Celsius. Would push a global temperature over 1.5 degrees Celsius by the end of the century. Cattle are the biggest culprit. Beef and dairy production are responsible for over 60% of all food-based emissions, while only providing around 80% of the world's calories. In fact, diets containing modest portion of meat, like chicken, often produce less greenhouse gas than vegetarian diets high in dairy. Reducing beef, cheese, and milk consumption could go along. Reducing beef, cheese, and milk consumption could go a long way toward achieving many of the benefits of a meatless world. No magic required.